What's going on, y'all? How's everybody been doing? So we are back again. Today is Wednesday, currently in Atlanta at our Atlanta break bulk, and tonight we'll be headed off to New Orleans for 489 miles. Good thing is the set's already been hooked, so that's one less thing that I have to worry about. So I'm sure you guys notice a different view. You know, I am in a different truck. Unfortunately, you know, my assigned unit is, you know, once again back in the shop. Hang on 1 second. So some of you guys already know, it's been having, the main issue I've been having with it is the accelerator pedal. You know, they fixed the wiring God knows how many times, and you know, that problem, you know, keeps recurring. But last night, or I should say yesterday, when I came into work, the truck would not shift into gear, so it was pretty much stuck in neutral. Well, let me rewind, because I left something out. So when I was headed back to Orlando, which would have been what, Tuesday morning, because I pretty much just fast turned Monday night. So Tuesday morning I was headed back to Orlando. I let them know what was going on. You know, they let me know that they didn't have any spares. So I pretty much just asked Central, like, hey, can I just go empty, you know, to Tampa, that way I could go home. Of course, they said, you know, that's fine. So I get with Tampa. You know, they let me know that they have some spares. I get halfway to Tampa, the check engine light goes off and the truck starts running fine. So I end up not taking it to the shop, and you know, I end up going home, you know, once I got to Tampa. As I'm bobtailing, you know, back to the yard, you know, the truck is still running fine. And it's not until I hook up, you know, to my load where it wouldn't get out of neutral. So I end up leaving it there, and they end up putting me in this Kenworth. So because the truck is not shifting, that probably means one or two things. Either the clutch is going bad, or it's probably something, you know, with the transmission. But of course, I'm no mechanic. But I do know one thing is for sure, I'm probably not going to be back in that truck for a while, because it's also due, it just so happens my assigned unit was due for a major PM anyway. I imagine they'll probably do the PM while it's in Tampa. So yeah, that's what we got going on. But this Kenworth, you know, that I've been in, it runs, you know, pretty good. You know, I actually prefer the Kenworths over the Volvos anyways, but we typically don't use these trucks, you know, on the road at least. They're mainly, you know, used in the city for the most part. There are some, you know, drivers that still run them, but primarily they're used in the city. So we got 11,000 on the lead and 8,000 on the rear, so we're fairly light. So yeah, that's what we got going on. So yeah, that's what we got going on. So yeah, that's what we got going on. But this Kenworth, you know, that I've been in, it runs, you know, pretty good. You know, I actually prefer the Kenworths over the Volvos anyways, but we typically don't use these trucks, you know, on the road at least. You know, on the road they're mainly, you know, used in the city for the most part. There are some, you know, drivers that still run them, but primarily they're used in the city. So we got 11,000 on the lead and 8,000 on the rear, so we're fairly light. So yeah, that's what we got going on. Now, I will say I do appreciate, you know, all the support, you know, all the new subscribers that have been subbing to the channel. You know, you guys, of course, are much appreciated. And I think we're good. So hopefully now maybe they'll consider reassigning me, you know. And as I've let the mechanics, I told them straight, like, listen, I don't care nothing about getting a brand new, I don't care what the year is. I just, you know, want something that's, you know, a little more reliable, something that can, you know, stay out of the shop, you know. And as I said, when it's not in the shop, it runs well, but, you know, when it's down, you know, it's down. I actually do need to top off the def. So let me do that, heat up my food, and I will catch up with you guys later down the road. Alright, y'all, so we're back again. So I want to give a little message to my four-wheeler subs out there, because I know it's a number of y'all that watch these videos that don't drive semi-trucks, and I know some of y'all may not understand, you know, some of the things that we do. Some of y'all may know this, some of y'all may not, but a lot of these trucks that y'all see on the road are governed. You know, these companies, you know, they set it to whatever speed, and whatever speed is set is as fast as it'll allow us to go. You know, of course, you have some trucks out there that are wide open, meaning it'll go as fast as the speedometer will allow it to go. But the thing I never understand when it comes to y'all four is why y'all tailgate. I never understood it, you know, and I don't want to hear, oh, y'all need to stay out the left lane. Well, the thing is, we get tailgated in the left lane, middle lane, right lane. Like, I was getting tailgated earlier in the right lane. You know, I had this Ford F-150 so far up my butt. Let me just paint the scenario for y'all. So I had a line of semi-trucks to my left. I had one in front of me, and then I got this impatient Ford F-150 riding my butt. I don't know if he feels that tailgating me will make this Kenworth go any faster, but it can't. This Kenworth will only go as fast as it'll allow me to go. Hell, if it was up to me, I would make this truck wide open, but, you know, I have no say in that. So what happens is, the truck in front of me ends up catching a blowout. He blew a steer. And if any of y'all ever blew a steer, you know what comes with that, you know. To sum it up, I end up having to get on my brakes just to avoid him. And since this pickup is so far up my butt, when I hit my brakes suddenly, because he had no out, because mind you, I had a whole line of trucks to my left. He had no out. So it's either he run into the back of me, or he swerves to the shoulder. And of course he does just that. He swerves to the shoulder just to avoid slamming into the back of me. And mind y'all, that's 100% avoidable. If he would have backed up, you know, back up, give me some space, he wouldn't have had to swerve. Oh, damn. I don't know how that car got way up in those trees like that, but hopefully he's all right. But the point I'm making for my four-wheelers out there is tailgating us is pointless. It's not gonna make us go any faster. And if you can't see in front of you, how are you gonna know when we have to brake suddenly? Do better. Change of plans. I was supposed to go to Baton Rouge from here, but I will now be ending it here. It's all good though. Now, the only problem is it's only 2 a.m. and if I remember correctly, the closeout for New Orleans, I want to say is 8:30 p.m. So that's, you know, kind of the downside of, you know, when you do these laydowns. You know, this is just one of those instances where you spend a lot of time in the hotel or bunkhouse. You know, here they have a bunkhouse. If y'all have never been to New Orleans, it's pretty much set up just like if you've ever been to like Greenville. It's set up damn near identical. This is like the smaller version of Greenville, but they got a bunkhouse here. So, and I highly doubt I'll be able to turn my 10 here. I've only done it one time, and I've laid over here a number of times, and you know, it was only that one time I was able to turn. So from 2 a.m. to 8 p.m. you do the math on that. Now a lot of times, you know, when I'm in these hotels or bunkhouse, sometimes I'll venture out and, you know, go do something with that, you know, go to the mall or just go to the gym, just whatever the case may be. You know, I try not to be confined to these hotels or bunkhouses, but you know, this terminal is not in New Orleans. You know, they just call it New Orleans. I'm probably 25, maybe 30 minutes from New Orleans. But let me go ahead and get these dropped, and we'll probably catch up again at closeout. Alright, y'all, so just left out of New Orleans. Got to leave a little early, not as early as I would like to, but still got to leave earlier than the closeout. So tonight I'll be headed over to Ocala, 584 miles. Got a set that came out of Houston, got a Fort Lauderdale and an Orlando set. 16,000 on the lead with 15 on the rear. So not too bad. If I didn't mention 584 miles. Now I spoke with the dispatcher earlier. He said, I'm fine with you going to, or if you can make Orlando, you know, I'm fine with it. If not, you know, you could just shut it down in Ocala. So of course, I'm gonna try to push for Orlando, because from Ocala to Orlando, it's only 83 miles. So 584 plus 83, you do the math. it's definitely doable. It is doable. I just can't afford any delays. You know, I'm pretty much going to be using every bit of my 11-hour clock to do it, but I should be able to make it to Orlando. That's the goal. I did get an update on my assigned unit. You know, they're still doing the diagnostic on it, but they did confirm it is something with the transmission. So as far as how long I'll be in this spare unit, I'm gonna be in it probably for about a week or two, because on top of that, it's also due for a major PM. And when it comes to those major PM, that alone, you know, takes a few days. So probably for like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, I'll probably be in this truck. So that's just the update on that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put y'all on the time lapse, and if anything comes up, I'll check back in with you guys. Passing through Ocala, and since I have 2 hours left of drive time, I have enough time to make it to Orlando. So I'm gonna go ahead and push it all the way to Orlando. So that'll be a total of 664 miles. I'll be lying to you if I said I'm not tired. But I'm not gonna lie, this drive has went by so quick. It feels like I just left New Orleans, and this coffee right now is my lifesaver. So the plan is when I get to Orlando, I'll be done, of course. And I'm still deciding if I'm gonna stay in the bunkhouse or if I'm just gonna drive home. Don't know yet, but overall, it's been a pretty smooth ride for the most part. Caught a little bit of delay on I-10, you know, for construction, you know, getting through Mississippi. At one point, I wasn't sure if I was gonna make it. When I was taking my break, I was seeing on the maps that they had an accident just a little south of Ocala, but it looked like that's since been cleared. So it should be pretty much smooth sailing. I got about just under 80 miles left to go, and it's only 6:13, so I should get there probably like 7:20, maybe 7:30, somewhere around there. And yeah. But all right, y'all, that's just a quick update. So I'll probably tune back in when we get to Orlando. Boy, I tell you, I'm on the turnpike right now, headed south. I'm so glad they finally finished this construction. So if you guys remember before, the turnpike used to be just 2 lanes on each side, but now they got it 4 lanes. I think it starts in I want to say Leesburg or Claremont. It goes all the way south, you know, through Orlando, Kissimmee. And I tell you, it sure makes a difference. I'm not sure if they're gonna eventually make it 4 lanes all the way to where 75 meets. I'm not sure. But I imagine they're probably gonna do 4 lanes, you know, all the way down, at least to get to like the more populated cities, you know, of South Florida. But don't mind this placard. This sun is cooking the left side of my face here, so I got probably about another 30 minutes or so. So I should probably get there right around 7:30 because it's 7 o'clock now. So I'm sure you guys, I don't know how well y'all can see this, but they are really building. It's crazy how much, you know, Florida has exploded, you know. I still remember when all of this used to be nothing but just fields. And now, you know, every little piece of land, they're just building subdivision after subdivision after subdivision. It's crazy. Florida, we are full. Stop coming down here. We are full. But at least the turnpike is flowing, you know. Like that, we have finally made it. 664 miles later. I made it with 33 minutes to spare. Not bad. Not bad at all. Go ahead and wrap this video up. Appreciate everybody that tuned in. Big thanks to all y'all that made it to the very end. As I always tell y'all, thank you to all my day one subscribers. Thank you to all my new subscribers. I appreciate you all. And as I always tell y'all take it easy. Y'all stay safe, and we'll see you in the